Welcome and thank you for listening to the first edition of the Goopply cast. Goopply is a tech and entertainment blog that focuses on reporting news and starting discussions on subjects we personally take an interest in. And you can check us out at goopply.com. We'll hopefully be shooting for monthly releases as schedules allow. And for my part, I'm Matt Carter, Associate Editor for Goopply. Joining me is Joe Homanand, the Entertainment Editor. Say hi, Joe.
Hi.
And then we also have Kaden Karras, who's a local Nintendo enthusiast. Say hi, Kaden.
Gino for Smash 4.
Cool. Today we're going to be talking about Amiibos. That's why we brought on the local Nintendo enthusiast. I personally have not gotten too invested in Amiibos, but there's a craze going on right now, a super craze, and these guys wanted to talk about it. So let's get right into the topic. What are Amiibos? Because I don't even know what Amiibos are. Joe.
Amiibos are kind of like, if you ever played Skylanders, or if you ever played, what is the Disney one called? Disney Infinity. It's a similar idea to that, where you have you have a main game, and you have little figurines that go on to the Wii Pad or the 3DS. The new 3DS has this feature, but the older ones do not. And you put them on there, and they go into the characters, depending on which character you have appear in your game. For example, if you have the game Super Smash, you can get, let's say, a Link Amiibo, and then you can put that Link Amiibo, this little figurine, on your 3DS or on the Wii U Pad, and it will appear in game, and you can train it, and you can do a bunch of different stuff with it, or it will go into, or it will give you stuff like, for example, Hyrule Warriors. Hyrule Warriors. I always get mixed up with that. Those give you random Amiibos. Will give you random things like items or weapons or extra gold and things like that. And they've been out since when?
November 11th, I think it is.
Like the Mario one released in like November. So like the first
21st.
wave, released on November 21st in North America. And that was Mario, Peach, Yoshi, Link, Pikachu, Kirby, Donkey Kong, Fox, Samus, Wii Fit Trainer, Villager, and Marth. That was the first wave available in November. And then, so these are characters from Super Smash Bros. And other Nintendo franchises that you can put into the games. Do they, like, store information on them? Like, are they computer things?
They have they're NFC, and they do store information. Like, you can't, if you have Super Smash data, for example, on your Mario character, and you try to use that same Mario Amiibo on your Mario Party, you can't do that. The data will be completely erased.
Oh, okay. So it's like one-time use kind of thing, or if you want to use it on something else, it resets?
Not all the time, though. Hyrule Warriors, for example, only registers that it's an Amiibo, that it's a Link Amiibo. It does not actually use any data, other than the fact it registers what it is. So there's no save data on there. So you're safe to do it that way.
Oh, so it just checks to see if I own it.
Yeah.
So like I have a Link in Smash, and I'm like training it, and then I like buy Hyrule Warriors, and then I want to use it to give me some free stuff in that. Then it'll do that without any risk to me losing my training on Link.
Correct.
Okay. That makes sense. And I can just use it on virtually any Nintendo game that allows it, and it'll either take part in the game or give me stuff? Is that the only are those the only things they can do?
Yeah, so far it'll either be, there's even in this project codenamed Steam, that one you actually get to play as the character when you play it on. So in Smash Bros. You train an opponent, but in Codename Steam, it actually gives you a character which can either be Marth, Robin, Lucina, or Ike.
Marth, Robin, Lucina, or Ike in Codename Steam?
Yeah, Fire Emblem characters, because it's made by the people who make Fire Emblem.
Yeah, Intelligent Games, I think.
Something like that,
Intelligent Systems?
Yeah.
Intelligent Systems, yeah. Intelligent Systems.
And that's Project Steam, which is like a tactical kind of 3DS game?
Yeah, it's like not the Tales game, but the one game
Valkyria Chronicles.
Valkyria Chronicles. It's one of those games. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Mm-hmm. I like Valkyria Chronicles.
It's a good game.
All right. So other than like Smash and Mario Kart and whatever for like the Wii U, they released the new 3DS with NFC, which is near frequency communication, basically touching stuff together to get it to talk. So that everybody can like take part. Everybody can take part in this Amiibo stuff. Like, what other games are available that you can use the Amiibos in?
Well, there just came out the new... it's hard to say. The new 3DS XL has Xenoblade Chronicles out for it, and you can actually touch Shulk, the annoyingly GameStop exclusive. That'll come back later. How annoying that is. It's annoying, by the way. Anyway, you get special weapons in Xenoblade Chronicles for the new 3DS when you put Shulk on there. So that's the only other 3DS game. But for Wii U, there's also Kirby's Rainbow Curse or Canvas.
Rainbow Curse.
Curse. That uses it. Captain Toad's Treasure Hunter. Of course, you did Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, Hyrule Warriors. I think that's all of them to date. I might be missing something, but...
let me see if there was anything else. I think you pretty much named everything. Yeah, just those games so far. Are there any games coming out that could foreseeably use some of these? I also see that like Sonic can be used to unlock Sonic and Lucario can be used to unlock stuff in Hyrule. Can all of them be used?
Yes, they can all be used.
Oh,
they don't. So some of them don't. Some of them don't unlock something specific. Other if they're not a Link character or a Zelda franchise character, they will unlock a random bonus in the game, which Joe mentioned, which can be rupees or it can be random weapons for characters, or even items in the game that they can use for boosting stats and such.
Oh, okay. So it's like an in-game refund. That's nice. Okay. And then, like, what stuff is coming out that uses Amiibos?
Splatoon, and assuming possibly the Zelda and Star Fox games. And we can assume that they will.
That makes sense. Splatoon is getting its own Amiibos, right?
Yes.
They are. They're getting 3.
Yeah, getting the boy squid, the girl squid, and then just a squid.
I think they're called Inklings?
Or Inklings, yeah. They're squids, but they're called Inklings.
Inklings, yeah.
Yeah, Inkling girl, boy, Inkling squid.
And then there's going to be Yoshi's Woolly World, or is that out?
Right, right. That's going to be really cool.
Oh, and those, they're made of yarn.
Yes.
They're not your typical plastic ones. Oh, they look so adorable.
Yeah.
If you listeners are interested in other random Nintendo news, Joe wrote an article talking about the Nintendo Direct, if you haven't seen that, showcasing some of the other Nintendo games that are coming out that might use Amiibos. Because there's also like a Fire Emblem game, right? Like 2 Fire Emblem games?
So the Fire Emblem game is interesting because I don't think they've announced that it's going to be split in 2. But they've announced Fire Emblem, of course. And in the video that they show, their trailer that they show, they were talking about how there's 2 paths, basically a good path or a dark path or a black path or white path. I don't know if it's going to be good or bad. And there's been some articles in like Japanese magazines and stuff that claim that it's going to be basically they're going to do what they do with Pokemon and have a black Fire Emblem and then a white Fire Emblem or something along those lines. They haven't said anything about Amiibos, but that could also...
Because, I mean, there's like Ike and Marth and stuff, and if they do what they did with Hyrule Warriors, you might at least be able to unlock some stuff, if not use them or whatever. Or restore them if they die. Give me back characters.
There's no cheating.
It wouldn't be cheating. I paid $13 for this Phoenix Down. You give it to me. Okay. And
then there's that crazy cross Shinigami Tensei Fire Emblem for the Wii U. It'll be like next year. That one could even see Shinigami Tensei characters as Amiibos for that game. That'd be interesting. Maybe. But that's pure fan speculation of things that'd be cool.
Okay.
So,
yeah, they also released they released them and then they re-released them. Like for example, they re-released it was Mario, Peach, and Bowser and Luigi, and they introduced Toad for the Mario Party game. So there's like separate Amiibos for the Mario Party game. There's a special gold Mario Amiibo for Mario Party, which I think was a Walmart exclusive, or did we have
the gold one was a Walmart?
It was a Walmart exclusive, and I think
Okay.
Yeah,
another painful thing.
Yeah, it's
you guys think
painful.
So? There are exclusive Amiibos as well.
Yep. Much to our dismay.
Like did Pac-Man even come out?
Pac-Man is not released yet. He comes out May 29th.
Oh, okay.
He is non-exclusive though. Anyone can get Pac-Man.
Okay. But like I know that Amiibos have had a very rainy Washington history where just things are kind of depressing and gloomy. What has that been like?
Pretty bad. It's It's kind of ridiculous. They just have basically what it really comes down to. They just have not been meeting the demand of Amiibos, and you can speculate why that is. I mean, some people can say, well, they just didn't think, for example, Kirby would be a popular character, or I guess Villager would be a popular character, so they didn't make a ton of Villagers. Or, you can say that, Nintendo overall just was unprepared for it. Or, you can speculate that, hey, they're trying to create, a false demand. Which is probably the more sinister idea. I don't know how true that is, but if they're saying, everybody knows that Amiibos are hard to get or hard to come by, especially certain Amiibos like Marth or Lucina. Does Lucina's come out?
Lucina comes out May 29th.
I can guarantee you that's going to be a hard one to come by. But people can argue, people say, hey, they're just trying to create a false demand and make this really, really, basically make as much money as they can off these Amiibos.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of hateful. They basically come out with the Amiibos maybe for like a couple of days, and then they're sold out, and then you never see them ever again. Like I know I saw some Little Macs like for like a day. They sent us 3 and they were gone. I saw like 3 of them in store, and then they were gone and never saw them ever again.
The way that I look at it is like there's the characters that everybody knows, like Luigi. And not even really Diddy Kong, but at least Luigi and Zelda came out in shipment 2, along with Diddy Kong, Little Mac, Pit, and Captain Falcon. Like, I think if you're not a Smash player, you probably couldn't look at all of those and be like, oh my gosh, Captain Falcon, I've played so many F-Zero games that they don't make anymore. So I wouldn't expect Captain Falcon to be as many. I don't think Nintendo would have made as many Captain Falcons as they would have like Zelda. Like I see that at least Captain Falcon and Pit and Little Mac were the more limited ones. Like they weren't in as much. I wouldn't see them as being in as much demand, especially Little Mac being from Punch Out on like the Super Nintendo.
It was NES, Super Nintendo. There's also the Wii version.
The Wii version, which I am curious how well that would have done to reinvigorate. I figured that would be for Little Mac fans who also just may not want the figure. But then again, people line up for these things, so maybe Nintendo should make more.
You figure that's, it's understandable. First they came out with these things, they may have not realized how popular they're going to be. Mm-hmm. But it's been, like it came out in November, last October. It's been a good, 6 months now, and they haven't been able to meet demand, or they haven't even said anything about it. They're not I don't think there's been a point where we're going to re-release Wave 1, or we're going to continue shipping Wave 1. They kind of just make limited editions of characters and things like that, which I do think is kind of ridiculous. And when you talk about the popularity aspect of them, I mean, look at Skylanders. Skylanders does have exclusives, and they do have limited characters, but overall they keep majority of the characters in stock, or eventually they might have a limited run, for example of Ninjini, yeah, that was a limited run, but then eventually they sent a bunch more in. So I mean they're able to do it, and none of their characters are mainstream, or not everyone knows who they are, so why can't Nintendo do it?
And they usually did it one character at a time, not 10 or 13.
Yeah, and Nintendo hasn't been clear, or hasn't really been, I feel like, honest with the public and telling us what their plan is and what they're going to do. They kind of just are going at it like willy-nilly and causing frustrations for the public. Which is hateful.
Hateful.
Yeah.
And you think by now, though, I think they would realize if it is like a demand thing, they would at least re-release them already to make money. If they re-release Villager will sell out again. So you think they would have re-released him. However, it's also it could be a demand thing. If they re-release one character, everyone assumes that we're going to re-release every character. So they could be playing that random tightrope game where they can't actually re-release them because they still want the demand there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I feel like if they, at this point, where they're almost halfway through the character list, it'd be good for them to start re-releasing characters.
And the way they've been releasing them has been just awful with exclusives. And I mean, Kaden, you should talk about your experience at GameStop trying to get NES. I mean, just trying to pre-order one Amiibo.
Exclusive to GameStop, right?
Yes, exclusive to GameStop, coming out May 29th.
Yeah.
And that was a hassle.
It was a complete hassle. So, there was a Nintendo Direct. I do not remember the exact day in which the Nintendo Direct was.
I think it was like the day before, I want to say.
Well, it was the day before the NES thing, but I don't remember the exact date.
Okay.
But yeah, so then after the Direct happened, I think a few hours later, GameStop tweeted that they would be selling the NES Amiibo plus the others at 12 o'clock the next day. Right? It was 3 o'clock, I think, Eastern time, so 12 o'clock. It was 2 o'clock Central time, so then it ended up being 12 o'clock our time, is what it ended up being. And so, 12 o'clock rolls around, and they did not tell anyone this, but apparently they were only going to do in-store orders, and they were going to be in-store web orders. So you couldn't reserve them normally through the store, and you couldn't do anything online. Now, they didn't tell anyone this, so at 12 o'clock, the website crashed hard enough that it actually killed the POS systems at GameStop. Like, no one could do anything. No one could sell anything. Even for regular customers, they were having trouble. Like, if you just wanted to actually do anything at GameStop. So that GameStop actually lost money in this, I would believe. But eventually, after 2 hours of struggles, GameStop finally was able to make their in-store orders for NES and NES, Lucina, Charizard, Pac-Man, things like that.
Charizard.
And they all sold out by like the end of the day. Even I think by 4 o'clock, I think they were totally sold out of everything. That at least the GameStop going to sell. Hopefully they'll have more, and they were just holding their stock back. But
which GameStop's been known to do randomly for things.
So, but it was a painful experience. And then that same day, I think it was the same day, Jigglypuff sold out within seconds over at Target. I believe Jigglypuff is Target.
Yep.
And then there's also Greninja, who is Toys R Us. He sold out. So, pretty painful.
Yeah, they've just been having major issues with releasing these things and having, every store is having issues like saying pre-orders for them and this and that. I mean, it's one thing to tell us, hey, this is going to be a limited run. You guys get it when you can, but they haven't said that. I've never heard Nintendo come out and be like, "Hey, this is a limited run of Amiibos. You may or may not come out. We may or may not re-release them." Or they have not been clear or direct with anyone about it, and that's the frustrating part. Is because you'll buy an Amiibo, or you'd be like planning to buy a single Amiibo, which is your favorite character. But then the scalpers or the people who are incredibly obsessed, obsessed collectors will come in and they'll buy one, or even the scalpers will buy maybe like 5 of them or 6, or buy all the Amiibos. Because I know some stores I don't think there's any stores that limit it.
There's no exact limit for a lot of stores now.
So someone can come in and be like, I'm here at 7 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock or whatever, right whenever the store opens, and just buy all the Mega Mans or the DDDs or Sonics, and then that's it. And I think it's terrible because Nintendo is trying to. I think this is a cool feature, and I think Nintendo, is trying to. If they're trying to like push this feature on people and make it more mainstream, they're really failing at it by just having limited runs of these characters and not really being honest with us. Plus, there's tons of kids who come in here and, they just want to buy the Sonic because that's their favorite character, Smash or something. But it's hard for them to find, or even impossible for them to find depending on where they live. And that's not cool. You want kids to get into games and kids to have fun and, become lifelong gamers is definitely not the way to do it. It's just appealing kind of to collectors and scalpers, and that's it.
Yeah, and another issue, like we brought up before, the Amiibo only has one save data on it. So let's say your favorite character is Shulk, right? And you want to build up Shulk in Smash Bros. You want to build them up a certain way because the way you train them is based on your play style. So your final Shulk may end up a different Shulk from your friend Shulk that he trained, or you can actually feed them badges and that'll change their stat boost and everything. So if you want more than one trained Shulk without having to race your current one, you need another Shulk. You have to buy a second Shulk, but you can't because they're gone. And that's really unfortunate. That's just an additional sale from a random person that you could just get, and they're just not getting those sales either.
The thing that I think is interesting about the Amiibos is the fact that they are really, really nice figures outside of also being usable in a game. Like the fact that they're usable in the game to me is just really surprising because everybody, like, it seems like more and more things are becoming brands and need to have like shirts and other random merchandise things for them. Smash has never really been open about having a ton of merchandise, at least that I've seen. Like, you have Zelda with like wallets and messenger bags and belt clips and stuff, but Smash hasn't really been its own brand, but now it has figures. But those figures are also even like, we don't know what we're doing, kind of trying to make this a brand. We want to have 2 games, but now we want to have figures, and the whole thing seems like a really awkward growing experience for them.
Yes, growing. I mean, it seems like a growing experience. I mean, hopefully Nintendo will be able to get their stuff together. I mean, I do feel like it is. Their handling of this is ridiculous. I mean, it's unfair to the customers, and it's just like I said. I just wish they would come out and be like, hey, these are going to be limited runs, or this is what's going to happen. I mean, that's one of the biggest issues is they're not telling us anything. They're not talking to us. I feel like Nintendo's just trying to do a quick money grab from us as consumers, and it's pretty awful. Nintendo.
And they haven't offered up any other kind of like solutions for the limited quantity or anything?
No. Well, I mean, they re-release them every so often.
Well, only like the mainstream ones. They promised to re-release Marth because he'd be usable in Project Codename Steam.
Mm-hmm.
However, that game has already been released for almost a month, like 3 weeks now.
I think, about 2 or 3 weeks, yeah.
And it's just like, so you said you were going to re-release Marth for this game. You promised us this because it was going to be usable, and then you just still haven't delivered.
Yeah, I haven't seen any Marths at all anywhere, so I don't know what Nintendo is doing with that. It's kind of ridiculous.
I've heard talk about card or some kind of NFC card amiibos. Is that a thing?
There's a new Animal Crossing game coming out later in the fall. I think it's like Animal Crossing fashion, something fashion-y.
Oh, Animal Crossing, yeah, because you can like it's developing a house. Like instead of doing like collecting things, it's more about designing houses and stuff. And
so apparently, there might be more collectible cards for that game. Like that's going to be your like physical DLC in hand. Like you buy like packs of them. It seems like they only showed off Isabella, Peanut, and Goose, but there'd probably be more than just that. But it appears only those cards so far just to be for that, and it doesn't look like they'll replace the Smash
figures. Okay.
Like they might replace another franchise. Like Smash is going to be figures, even the Mario Party one's figures. But like maybe Animal Crossing will only have card figures, or maybe a future game will only be cards. So like maybe when Fox got like this new unconfirmed title Star Fox Wii U game, maybe they'll only have another Fox card instead of re-releasing the Fox Amiibo.
Or they may even have, like, do the same thing with Mario Party and just have completely separate Fox Amiibo. And release, like, a whole different, like, stance or whatever.
Yeah.
Be cool if they came out with, like, the R-Wing or something.
That would be cool.
I would buy an R-Wing Amiibo.
I totally would.
The cards is an interesting idea because it almost sounds like the way that you described the Animal Crossing was like The Sims, where you're building a house and you have all these like items that you need to put into your house, and if you turn that into some kind of collectible card form, especially with some kind of packs, then you're buying packs to get like the rare pieces of furniture that have like the certain texture on them to match the other rare pieces, so you can only get these rare cards in these packs. And if they did that with something like Star Fox, it'd be like, oh, you got this exclusive blaster, or you got a bunch of like health med packs or something like that.
Well, the other thing that this actually reminds me of is I don't know if you guys remember the card, the e-reader.
Oh.
Do you guys remember that for the Game Boy?
That's not what I thought you were going to say.
The e-reader. That's because I remember I had some friends.
I love me some e-reader.
They had an e-reader, and they came in random packs, right? And they had e-reader
They were in everything.
They were like an attachment that you would it was an attachment you put on your Game Boy Advance, and you would get cards like in packs, and it was just like random cards, and you would swipe the card through the e-reader, and they would have, classic NES games like Balloon Fight and like random things like that. And I think they supported that for like 4 years, maybe less than that, like not even year. That, like a year.
They were on. You could be playing Pokemon, and the Pokemon had e-reader card borders. So it'd open up like a Pokedex page
Really?
on your Game Boy screen. And I played Pokemon at the time, kind of. And I thought that was really cool. It added this like game element to my card game. And then you could buy packs of like old school Nintendo games that for the love of God I wasn't going to play. But they're still a cool idea.
That's another thing I want that the Amiibos that they're planning to do with. I think it's Amiibos, right? They're going to have like games.
Oh.
So they're going to have like random games to attach to the Amiibos.
That's it's something coming out for the Wii U.
The Wii U, yeah.
I forget the actual name of it, but yeah, when you plug in your Mario character, it'll have like the first few levels of Super Mario Brothers.
That's the silly part, and like not all Amiibos will have the same games.
And it'll even sometimes generate different games.
And yeah, it's weird because they're demos. So I think that's kind of interesting, but also kind of stupid because why would I want to play a demo of a game I can just get for free online, or even if I want to go onto the Wii U eShop or whatever and buy the game for like $1 or $2. I think it's kind of silly that they don't give you the full game; they just give you like a demo of it.
They've done that with at least with like maybe Smash Bros.
The
Wii.
masterpieces.
And then they also did they do that for like the Super Mario World games where they added demos to it? I don't know. I haven't played. I feel like this kind of demos of games that everybody has purchased 400 copies of, they've done before. Mm-hmm. But they're also adding it to Amiibo, which might be called Amiibo Tap, Nintendo's greatest hits, it looks like, maybe.
Well, hopefully that'd be a free app on your Wii U. Because if it's a free app, then it's totally harmless. Mm-hmm. Like, it'd be pretty random that you bought the Metroid Samus Amiibo and you don't know or have never played Super Metroid before. Mm-hmm. So it'd be really awkward to have that as a demo.
Yeah.
You're just like, I bought this, but I just didn't. I've never played the game.
That's funny.
It's a 3-minute demo. Mm-hmm. And again, to me that's silly. I mean, it's harmless if it's free, but at the same time, it's like, what's the point?
I'm tired of being forced to see these games over and over again. I've seen them so much. Like, I'm just done. Like, they're on every Nintendo system, in the shop, on Club Nintendo, which is dying now. They're just like everywhere. And it's like, okay, just leave them for people who need to go back and get them.
It's kind of like a marketing scam. Because, I mean, looking at this, looking at a list of games you can play, I mean, Legend of Zelda Link to the Past, you're not going to want to just play a 3-minute demo of that. You're going to actually want to go out. If you haven't played the game already or beaten it, which, I mean, I assume a lot of people already have, except some people haven't.
I'm pretty far in.
I haven't played it, maybe at all. I might have touched it.
To be fair, I know I'm the Nintendo enthusiast, but I've beaten seven Zelda games. I just haven't beaten Link to the Past.
It's the best. It's
the
best 8 bits. Is that an 8-bit game?
No, it's a 32-bit.
A 32-bit Zelda, best non-3D Zelda, in my opinion.
The question is it fun in the first 3 minutes?
Not really, because you don't really have anything. I mean,
you just get poked by spears.
That's another thing too. Is like when they do the 3-minute demo for like the Zelda game or Zelda 2: Adventure of Link, where are they going to put you? Or in Metroid, you start out with no weapons. Why would you want to play 3 minutes of Metroid where you don't have you don't have the cool ball or the power blaster or whatever? Right?
And even if they do give you all of that stuff, assuming it has some kind of demo UI to be like, here, this is what the Morph Ball does, this is what your Super Blaster does. If they don't do that and it's just the raw game cut up in a section, I don't know what I'm doing in Super Metroid. I heard that game was hard. I'm not going to want to play that from the middle.
It's a hard game.
Yeah. Not easy.
No, I think Kirby's Adventure or Excite Bike could be fun in 3 minutes. Super Mario World, as far as I'm concerned, if they give me a demo of Super Mario World, or anyone a demo of Super Mario World, and have them play it for 3 minutes, it won't be the fact that it's fun that makes them purchase it. It'll be the nostalgia factor. It'll be like, oh yeah. I remember I liked this game. I'll pay $10 for this again.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, so it's basically, to me, it's just a way for Nintendo to make money. They're just going to be like, hey, play these games and remember how great they were, and go out and buy them, or if you're a kid, bug your parents to buy them or get it for you somehow.
That makes sense.
I wouldn't be surprised, if they have like a link at the end being like, hey, this is where you can purchase the game now if you want to play it.
Oh yeah, extend your time.
or extend your time. Ugh. Charge you to play like every 3 minutes or something ridiculous. You know how hateful that would be.
Nintendo is getting ready for that mobile Switch.
They are.
Well, I mean, they've already released 2 freemium games.
They did the Pokemon, and
they've done Pokemon and the
Pokemon Rumble, and then the other Pokemon puzzle game.
Yeah, well, that makes 3 then. That makes 3. So the 2 Pokemon games. Because I don't think Pokemon Rumble is actually out yet, but it's a future one, right?
Yeah.
And you're talking about stuff that's going to go on phones, not for free on like the 3DS.
No, it's for 3. This is freemium games on the 3DS and Wii U.
Oh, okay.
So the Wii U one's going to get the freemium Pokemon Rumble game.
Mm-hmm.
The 3DS already has the freemium Pokemon Puzzle League game. But there's also the dog one. Remember where you haggle at the shop?
Oh yeah, that one was interesting though. Yeah, Rusty's Sports or whatever it was called. That was interesting. That was it was a freemium game. Oh, and they do that a lot. Also, there's a submarine, whatever.
Oh yeah, but that one's just kind of free, isn't it?
That one was you can play the multiplayer for free, but if you wanted to get like more like submarines and stuff, then you had to buy the full game. And it wasn't a bad game. And same with the Titanfall game. Is it called not Titanfall? The shooter Skyfall.
No, Ironfall.
Ironfall. Yes.
I would believe Ironfall because the first 2 things are already taken.
That is also
I think it's Ironfall.
That is also another freemium game. That one you can download for free, but to like do like the story or collect or to unlock more stuff, you have to pay.
I feel like that one's just a glorified demo. I wouldn't call it a freemium game because you're not having to pay more money for things.
You have to pay stuff to unlock stuff, don't you?
You just pay for the full game.
Oh, okay.
Like it's really just a demo.
Glorified demo.
Yeah, it's just a glorified demo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, I'd like to note because I wanted to mention this, then we got onto this Amiibo tap thing. Nintendo was originally a Hanafuda company, so
explain what that is to people who don't know what Hanafuda is.
So Hanafuda is a classic Japanese card game, and it was very, very popular. And it's what Nintendo started out making. And eventually, I forget the guy's name, but eventually it was just like, we should get into tech. The guy in mention is not Shigeru Miyamoto. He's just a guy who helped Nintendo grow and made Mario and stuff. He did not actually make the decision to change the company. So don't get that in your head. You can wiki it. I'm not going to wiki it right now. But anyway, so if they did a card thing, I could see them being like, I could even see the company as a whole being nostalgic toward it, since they are very nostalgic. So if they did some kind of Amiibo cards, it would make sense.
The other element that adds to the Amiibo exclusivity and rareness is that as a card game player, when I hear about rare anything like tiers of rareness, I just think about cards. Like you have the one that's more rare, and then you have the common ones. And if you want to get the rare one, you have to do something special or whatever to get it, or you have to buy a lot in order to find it, or you have to hunt for it because it's a chase thing. You're supposed to chase after it and kind of get caught up by buying stuff along the way. So when I hear that some Amiibos are exclusive and some aren't, and some are harder to get and some are more rare, then that kind of fits into what I would already imagine as some kind of collectible thing. But then there's also the fact that from at least the first shipment, they were all Nintendo characters, and I kind of talked about how they were like the lower rung of Nintendo characters and aren't as like staple Nintendo experience. But some of the other ones that are like Fire Emblem characters and from other games, I would also tend to expect that those would be rare as well due to whatever agreement Nintendo has to have to get them. Like Mega Man and Sonic, Nintendo doesn't necessarily own, so maybe it would be harder for them to get those or negotiate some kind of agreement to not only use those characters, but also make figures for those characters and try and give money to whoever that should go to.
Mm-hmm.
However, we actually have seen Sonic and Mega Man restock multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do restock them pretty frequently. Or yeah, not pretty frequently, but they have restocked them, unlike Marth or whoever, or even Ike. I've seen Ike like once. And that was it.
I see him every day. He's on my shelf.
Bastard.
What Amiibos do you have?
Well,
oh god.
I have this ready so I can just say. So, I have Zelda, Link, Toon Link, Sheik, Yoshi, Peach, Mario, Luigi, Mario Party Luigi, Bowser, DK, Pikachu, Kirby, King Dedede, Ike, Marth, Mega Man, Sonic, Captain Falcon, and Fox.
I noticed that you specifically pointed out that you have 2 Luigis. Why is that?
Well, there's a Smash Bros. Luigi, and then there's the re-released Luigi that's part of the Mario Party Amiibo set. So there are 2 different styles of the Luigi. Their base is different. The Smash Bros. Base is actually like the trophies base that is in Smash Bros. And he's also doing a taunt pose, which is kind of like the worm. Have you ever seen someone do the worm? But if it was like stuck in like a U position with Luigi's face outward, I don't really know if that's a really good description. Another one is just him kind of he's like tipping his hat off, kind of. Like his hat is not off, but it's a hat gesture. He's just being hatty, I guess. And I really like the Luigi, so I had to buy that one as well.
Okay. What about you, Joe?
What about me? God, I have Toon Link, I have Bowser, I have Captain Falcon, I have Star Fox, Mega Man,
And soon
and Yoshi, and Yoshi, of course. Yoshi's my favorite Mario character. I am planning to get Ness, as we talked about. We pre-ordered that Ness, and then the only other amiibo I really want to get is the woolly Yoshi one, but I'm sure that's going to be bundled with the game or something ridiculous, or it's just going to be like an exclusive or incredible limited quantity. I also want to point out with the Yarn Yoshi, actually come in 3 different colors, which is going to be cool. So I'm excited about that.
It's going to be green. I mean, I think it's like a babyish blue and a pink.
Yeah,
that baby blue one. It's my favorite.
And what about you, Matt?
Yes. I have Ike, Sonic, and Mega Man, and also
Chic.
Ike, Sonic, Mega Man, Sheik, and then I think I have Mario, Pikachu, and like Link, and Toon Link, and Luigi, and maybe like one other one, and probably maybe Bowser, I want to say. I have them so that I bought them so I could give them out to people for reasons.
Oh, right, yeah.
For playtesting purposes.
Fair enough.
Yes, thank you. So yeah, that's what I have. I managed to get a managed to get a Mega Man and a Sonic, assuming that they were going to be kind of rare, and I thought that would be cool. But like you guys said, they got restocked like a couple times. I feel like at least twice or whatever.
Yeah. But
and
Ike is not.
Ike is not.
Ike is rare. Yeah.
Ike, yeah.
Just hateful.
Pretty hateful. Yeah, most of the characters I personally don't have, like if you know his character is out and it wasn't on my list, is because I failed. It's been my failure. And that's also, like, I really like them. I actually use these characters, I play with them, I don't keep them in the box. So.
Oh, Palutena is going to be cool.
Makes me upset.
I like Palutena. Even though you
Palutena.
Whatever, Palutena.
If you guys are curious about the upcoming lineup of Amiibos or what they might look like, Nintendo has a page of them, nintendo.com/amiibo/line-up, and the Inkling ones look way cooler than I expected them to look. I actually like the way that they look. I like all of them. I like the Inkling squid. It's a nice green color, looks all inky and squid-like. And then the girl and the guy look just cool. Good coloring.
It looks like the hair might be like even somewhat transparent.
Which would be cool. And actually the Charizard one, the tail is actually like a cool plasticky see-through. The fire
transparent.
It's kind of like Mario's Fireball. If you've seen the Smash Bros. Mario Fireball.
Okay.
Ganondorf looks pretty legit.
He does look legit.
Dr. Mario just giving out drugs. No big deal.
The site doesn't have all of the characters up yet, just ones they've already concept art and probably already in production, but things that are on there would, of course, be like, there's going to be a Lucas Amiibo, obviously, because they've announced that in June. There'll be a Mewtwo one as well. So
Mewtwo should be cool.
Or no, I think all the other ones are up there, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think they had every single did it have Olimar up there?
Everything they've announced so far.
I don't think they have a Wario.
No, they have a Wario up there because he comes out March 29th.
Yeah.
They did?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they do somewhere.
He's right there.
No, there he is.
Oh, I didn't see him. Yeah.
Yeah, and they don't have the Yarn Yoshis up there, and there's Olimar. Oh, right.
Yep, Olimar's here.
I don't think they're missing anybody. That's cool.
I'm disappointed by the lack of Waluigi amiibos.
I am too. Gosh, where is the Waluigi amiibo? Don't even understand.
They don't give no respect.
Did they have there was no Falco amiibo up there, was there?
Do they have a Falco amiibo?
Well, I mean, not that's been announced yet, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I'm going to get my Falco amiibo.
Maybe they haven't confirmed. Well,
yeah, none that the internet has been able to suss from the depths of itself.
Oh, and there was no Rob up there. So not every amiibo that's going to be released or has been announced is not up on that list.
Yeah, I mean, they're making an amiibo for every Super Smash character. They just probably haven't announced the release date or what they will look at like.
Okay, well, cool. Anything else you guys wanted to add? I think we pretty adequately covered the amiibos.
Well, I'll let you go first, Joe. You start.
I was just gonna say, I think it's frustrating. As someone who really likes Nintendo, it's frustrating that they're doing this. I mean, I think it's. I don't want to believe that there's anything sinister and that they're not trying to just create false demand. And it's just overall a cool idea that they very, 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 very poorly executed. I mean, that's what I assume. I think they just poorly executed all this, and they just were unprepared for the demand. And
execution is the name of the game.
Hopefully they'll get their game together. But honestly, who knows? Nintendo's Nintendo.
Yeah, my thing I'd like to take a note of, some of the figures look really nice. Like, for being $13 and being a Nintendo licensed product, these kind of figures before, if you were to go, get one of these figures, you just want to get a quality figure, you're probably paying anywhere from $20 to $40 for these things, the quality they have. And they're releasing them for $13, which is great. I mean, it's really cool. And it's just unfortunate that we can't get them all. And even Joe said earlier, people have been growing up with Pokemon since forever. Not Pokemon, Nintendo. Well, Pokemon as well. But Nintendo's in the hearts of a lot of people, and it's also for the younger generation as well. And with so many people loving Nintendo, and there being such a limited quantity, it just hurts. And I don't understand, things like DK. Like DK Amiibo. He is a main Nintendo franchise character, and they released, none of him. None. I understand maybe not everyone likes the giant ape, but you think he still would have gotten more love than Diddy Kong. But there was more Diddy Kong amiibos.
At least from what we saw.
Yeah, from what we saw.
Yeah.
But I found that frustrating. And then as a side note, Wednesday, Smash Bros. Patch updates for balancing of characters. Interesting stuff.
That'll be Wednesday, April 15th. Forgot to mention that we're recording on Monday, April 13th.
Yeah, Mewtwo is going to be released too.
For people who did the Nintendo code for Wii U and 3DS, they'll get a Mewtwo code in their email to download Mewtwo. And then everyone else, I think, has to wait till the 28th.
Oh, it's brutal.
That's right, Joe. Suck it.
Brutal. Whatever. Not cool. Screw you.
As long as you admit it, Joe. As long as you admit it.
All right. Any final closing comments from me? Cool. Nintendo's making amiibos. Maybe they'll figure it out. Maybe they won't. Doesn't matter until they put Waluigi in Smash Bros. Vote for Waluigi. Thank you. So thank you guys for joining this first Goopply cast. I appreciate it. Thank you, Kaden. Your Nintendo enthusiasm was felt. I think it washed over everybody. And Joe, thank you for bringing your knowledge. And thank me for just being here.
Thank you for the mic and place to do the podcast, Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you, listeners, for listening, and we'll be back on the next edition of the Goopply Cast.
Goodbye.
Bye.